attention to detail, highly organized diligence. Now, this sounds like, well, very good things to have, but deep down, these things strive to seep into the dangerous world of perfectionism. It may take you longer to complete a task, and in the long term, this will affect your overall well-being. From spending way too much time researching before you start a project, or obsessively cleaning your house, including the skirting boards and pretty much everywhere before your friends arrive. So if you are ready to let go of your perfectionism, then here are 5 tips. Recognize and pinpoint the behavior. Now think about your perfectionism and what actually triggers it, because it could be vastly different depending on the environment. For example, at your job, you are a perfectionist for the fear of getting something wrong, but completely different when you get home. So focus on this behavior and learn to accept it when it happens. That way, if you have to create a PowerPoint presentation to give to your boss, and usually you would spend hours editing it and making it look fancy, stop and think in the moment, I'm doing this perfectionism thing again, darn it. And then that leads us to number 2. What is the worst case scenario? Perfectionism usually stems from negative self-belief of you don't think you're good enough and you have that fear of failure. So think about the factual worst case scenario. Analyze a task or a job as a court case. Only pay attention to the facts. Therefore, you cannot exaggerate. So before your next potential perfectionism outburst, mentally think of the worst case scenario factually. For example, if I return this back to the client and they don't like it, they won't fire me, they will just ask for changes, and that's okay and expected. Now, to help you, keep a list at your desk and rate your level of perfectionism needed before a given task. Perfectionism will come in handy sometimes, let's face it. It could win you a high-paying job, help you to design code for a website, so it's worth figuring out ahead of time how much energy you need to give. Can you do the bare minimum for a task and still get away with it? Well, if you can, do that. For example, will your friends come over for a night of shots and Netflix? And let's face it, they really don't care if you left a plate out on the side. And if you haven't done a laundry load, are they going to be bothered? No. So spend your energy wisely and don't focus on cleaning. Perfectionism is still going to happen until you learn to stop it. So fight your inner voice. You will have these times where you think, oh, just one more version of this edit or just 20 more minutes on this project. And this moment is vital for ending the perfectionism behavior. You need to recognize and change your self-talk. So instead, you ask yourself if that extra 20 minutes typing up an email really is that necessary. Set a time limit to complete a task. You probably work until it's perfect. So instead, set a timer, and when it rings, stop the task and get away from that project physically. You may not finish it, but that's okay. Go do something that gives you a dopamine boost instead of waiting for the dopamine boost given to you from your finished task. So we see what we're trying to do here? We're breaking you away, giving you some energy of excitement, and then bringing you back to complete the task. So I hope this has helped. I have to say personally, I feel like I do have those aspects and traits of a perfectionist, especially when it comes to work and also when my friends come round. So I hope this has really helped you to identify where perfectionism comes from so you can learn about it, so you can hopefully kick it in the butt.